welcome back to Bookmas. Welcome to our last reading vlog of 2025. Isn't that insane? We've had such a great year, so many great reading vlogs. I thought it would be fun to kind of bring it back around and do the same reading vlog as the very first reading vlog that I posted in January of this year, which is trying to find my first 5-star of the year. Today we're going to be trying to find my last 5-star of 2025. Like, bring back penmanship and bring back writing letters. And then Sign of the Time starts playing and I'm just like levitating. I don't know why I'm making it so much harder than it needs to be. Probably the highest stakes situation you could be in. It's so bittersweet when it comes to the end of the year. Now, this is going to be a hard feat because I have about 7 books throughout the year that I've given 5 stars. I've read, up until this point filming this video, around 90 books. So if you do the math, out of all the books I read, that's not quite a lot that I give 5 stars. I'm very picky with my 5 stars. They have to really hit me hard and just like a memorable read. Like, there's not all factors that go into a 5-star for me. I will say there's like one other one that I think I'm gonna end up giving 5 stars by the end of the year too. Like, let's just say there's 8 5-stars from this year. Now, I think that it's easier going into this video than the one at the start of the year because I've seen my reading journey through 2025 and I kind of have the knowledge of those 5 stars now that I've given this year and what I'm looking for in a book to make it 5 stars. So I think this could be a little bit easier than the beginning of the year and the first video of the year. I've picked out 3 books for my fiscal TBR that I think are good contenders for me giving them 5 stars. I will give you the reasons for them because I'm kind of going based off the books that I've given 5 stars so far. They have the same type of elements to it. My 5 stars this year are definitely different than my 5 stars previously. There's a lot more just fiction novels, a bit genre bending with like fiction and romance. I do love messy characters. I like beautiful writing, heartbreaking stories. So I kind of know what I like now. And the first book that we're starting with is based off my love for the book The Bright Years by Sarah DeMoth. This was a debut novel and it was so amazing. It was beautiful, well written, fast paced, and just like heartbreaking. I loved it. The first one we're starting with is Days You Were Mine by Claire Leslie Hall. 2 things going into this one. One, it reminds me of The Bright Years because this is another kind of like generational story. We're following this couple years before when they met. They had this great romance and then it's present day and their son that they gave up for adoption is trying to find his birth parents, which are those 2 people, I believe. That's like what I'm getting from the summary. So it's the whole generational thing that I was enjoying in The Bright Years. I also, the other factor is I read Broken Country by this author the end of the summertime and I really liked her writing style. It was really fast paced and almost was like higher rated. I give it 4 stars, but there was some little pieces missing, but this was a new release this year as well, so I don't know, maybe it could be a 5-star. I will give you guys a better summary and update when I get into it, and let's try to find our last 5-star of the year. This is gonna be really, really fun, hopefully. I have not filmed with this background in such a long time. It feels so weird seeing this behind me, but I'm home. Last night I slept over, we put up the tree, hung with the girls and my mom. It was a wonderful day. Today is Saturday. I've gotten about 145 pages into this book, and you know when you're reading a book, you can kind of tell if you're getting 5-star feelings or not. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get those feelings, like Atmosphere for me. I didn't feel 5 stars right off the bat, but I feel like you kind of know. You kind of get these feelings, and I'm not getting that with this, and I'm a little disappointed, but like, I'm not mad about it. I feel like in comparison to Broken Country, I'm feeling the same way I did about that one, where I'm not really like fully connecting to our characters. In Broken Country, I wanted to go a little bit deeper into the story, and this one we're definitely getting the story, but I feel like our characters, I don't know, there's like a disconnect there. But basically the present day is like the early 2000s and Luke has found his birth mother Alice, and you know they're talking, but there's like a lot of complicated feelings between the both of them because obviously he's gone 27 years without her. He has so many questions and feelings of not only guilt with his mother that adopted him, but like just all these feelings that are coming up, and obviously with her, like that's who she gave up and she now has to like relive all of this and answer his questions. So you're kind of getting that dynamic in that relationship and navigating that in the present day, and also he has a son now, so you're getting all these different feelings that are coming up between both of them in Luke's point of view. Past timeline, it's like the 70s, and Alice we're following, which is his mom, and we're following this like whirlwind romance she's having. She's in this art school. She's about like 19 years old or 18, 19, and she's in this relationship with this huge artist. He's like up and coming. He's the lead singer of a band, and she's working on a project with him, and she also has like this best friend at school that's also an artist, and we're seeing like her life around that time, but I'm not loving the romance of like her past relationship that's going on right now. For some reason I like don't trust this man that she's with. I don't know, he's giving me bad vibes and I don't love that. I feel like she fell really hard for him and it's very much like a physical based romance. She's kind of caught up in all of this. She's also younger than him and I feel like that's maybe the point of the relationship, and it'll make more sense as we get further into it and kind of see what happens. And that's the part of it I'm enjoying, because there's kind of like a mystery. You don't really know what happened with her back in the day and when she had Luke and the whole like actual story of it all. So I'm interested to get to that part and see, you know, what happened with her and how that led her to where she is today. I think I'm enjoying the past timeline a little bit more just because of that mystery element. I feel like I kind of know where the story's going, only because we're getting like glimpses in present day of who his father is. Obviously we know Alice, but also the past timeline, we're getting this relationship that she has with this band guy, and I'm like, I think I know where this is gonna end. So I'm hoping the mystery element of that does take me by surprise and I don't guess it, because that'll make it obviously more fun. You don't want to guess that part of the book, but I feel like it's kind of like in our face what's happened. I'm hoping I'm wrong on that. I'm hoping there's like a little bit of a plot twist. I feel like that would be kind of fun. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. I like the complex, you know, feelings and thoughts that Luke is going through, obviously being an adopted son and seeing his mother again, and there's so much that he's trying to navigate and go through and dissect, so I'm enjoying that part of it. I'm also enjoying the past timeline. I'm just not a fan of the romance that's going on, so I'm interested to see like what's gonna happen there. But yeah, those are my updates on this. Definitely not a 5-star, but I'm enjoying it. It's very fast paced. I think I'm gonna try to binge a little bit today and I will come back with further thoughts. So far so good, but not a favorite, and that's okay. I just got to page 214. There's no chapter title, so I don't know what chapter I'm on. It's just like then and now timelines, and right now we're in the now chapter with Luke, and he's getting more suspicious of his birth mother and his past. He really just wants all these answers. He wants to know why he's not connecting with her. So I'm enjoying that, 'cause I'm enjoying seeing his like thought process through it all, and seeing in an adoptee's like point of view, and seeing like the struggles that he's going through and trying to get answers. But it's so hard to like make a relationship out of this, because they both have, you know, things that they've gone through throughout the years. They haven't been in each other's lives, obviously the mom and the reasons why she gave him up, but we're in her point of view in the then chapters, and those we've gotten to know her relationship with like her lover so much more, and it makes so much more sense now, especially getting to know him and his past, and so much more has come out, so I understand like their relationship and what's going on with them more. I'm way more invested now. I'm really interested to see when Luke, the son, kind of like finds out more, and as he's finding out more stuff, we're kind of getting the full picture in the past timeline as well. Like we've learned so much about Alice, his mom, back then, and like what she was going through, how she got pregnant with him, and all these different things. So it's making more sense now. Like the picture is coming together a little bit, and I'm like so invested to find out like what really happened. So I feel like we're like slowly getting to that right now. We've definitely learned a lot, and I'm way more invested than the beginning. Like at the beginning it was a bit slow moving, but now I feel like we have like a lot of the pieces to the puzzle. We just need like the final one, and I can't wait to get to that, because it's like I feel like it's gonna be a huge blow up. I think I have a little over 100 pages left, but I'm gonna sit here and read as much as I can, because I'm very invested now and I want to know what's gonna happen. And I do like the two timelines we're getting. I like that we're seeing Alice's point of view and what she was going through the time of like becoming pregnant and everything, and then getting obviously her son Luke's point of view. I like the way the story is being told, and the writing style is really fast paced, which I found with her other book too, Broken Country, so I like that as well. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go finish it, see how this ends. I'm very interested to see how this ends and what we're gonna find out, what Luke's gonna find out, how he finds out, because he feels like his mom is being a bit suspicious right now, which she's not being suspicious, but I feel like she's not really being honest, and obviously it's hard to talk about. So I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna go finish, and I'm excited to see how this ends. Okay guys, I finished Days You Were Mine. This is upside down. last night. But this ended up being way more emotional than I expected. Obviously, I knew going into it we were going to touch on a lot of emotional topics, but the way that we're getting both point of views of the mother and the son that she gave up, it was just so much more emotional, and also the traumas that come with being not only an adoptee, you know, having all these questions growing up and just wanting these answers so bad, and also the mother, the one that is giving up the child and what she went through and the events leading up to that. I think having both of those point of views were so important, and seeing these timelines kind of mix and his questions be answered while we're getting the past story of what really happened, it was really, really good, and I really appreciate an emotional story. That's one of my favorites to read about, and just seeing what people go through in like real life, because this is obviously, adoption's like a huge thing, and like seeing from their perspective. Obviously I've never gone through that, so seeing how they felt from both perspectives as mother and son, it was just like really incredible, honestly. I will say the beginning setting up the scene was hard for me to get into. I think I said that. I didn't love the relationship she was getting into. They both come from kind of traumatic upbringings, and I think that kind of brought them together in a way, and she really wanted to understand him, which his name is Jake as the other character. But I would look up trigger warnings going into this. We deal with not only emotional topics, but also, like I said, traumatic things that happen in this book, but I really enjoyed it. I think it was done so well. I think if you like an emotional story like me, and I think if you like books that take place, like the past timeline was in the 70s, the present timeline was like the early 2000s, like that time era, and if you want like a really fast-paced bingeable book, because this was so fast-paced, I really love her writing style. There's some beautiful quotes in here, and when I finally connected to the characters, I was just so invested to see like what was gonna happen. And there's a few plot twists in here that got me, and I think those were done really well too, because I just did not see them coming, and they like added so much more to the story, and my heart kind of dropped a few times. I didn't cry during this book, which I thought I was going to, because like I said, there's a lot of traumatic things that happen, but I really enjoyed it. It was such an emotional story, and what these people go through, obviously what people in real life go through, and you're really seeing the trauma that comes with, you know, the whole adoption thing. You're really seeing it through their perspective, and it feels real and raw, and I really liked that. I love reading about just like families, and so many families, majority of families are not perfect, so seeing through their point of view what they went through, and I'm sure so many families go through this as well, so I really enjoyed seeing that. It felt very realistic. Not my favorite read, but definitely one I would recommend. But again, look up trigger warnings if you're gonna go into this. Not a 5-star, our first read, but that's fine, because I really liked this story, and I'm happy I did read it. It was a high contender for me, because it did have similarities to just like generational trauma that I felt for the Bright Years, and seeing the perspective of the kid and the parent, and like how that kind of shapes you growing up. So I liked that about this. But we're gonna go into our next book now, which I have a feeling might be a 5-star, because this book is a literary contemporary type of fiction, and it's a debut novel, which 2 of my 5 stars this year were both debut novels, and they were just beautifully written. They were amazing. One of them is on so many lists of like awards for the end of the year, because they both were debuted this year. This one was a debut novel this year. I don't know what month it came out in. Also, this one I said was a new release, but it's not. I believe it's an older book that just got republished or something like that, so this one didn't come out this year. It says this one came out in 2019, so not a newer book, but I don't know what they did, but I think they republished it this year. But this one, our next one, is a debut novel, and that is The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. I've seen this a few times on Fable as I'm scrolling through, and they said if you like The Bright Years, you'll really enjoy this one. It's a beautiful story. I love being in point of views of characters that have just gone through a lot, and like seeing their life story and everything, and this one's really interesting because I'm pretty sure it's all written through letters, or like majority of this is through letters. It says letters from someone in her past force her to examine one of the most painful periods of her life, and she realizes that the letter she has been writing over the years needs to be read, and she cannot move forward until she finds in her heart to offer forgiveness. So she's older now as the book starts. It says she's gone through a lot, and I think we're going to see kind of like where her life is now, and also all these letters that she's written, the letters that she is writing, and I love that element. Something about letters in books really do it for me, and I'm excited about that. But yeah, I've been really loving just like contemporary type of fiction this year, so obviously that's this one. It's a debut novel, and it's not reminding me too much of like other 5 stars I've given this year, but it has those elements to it that I think could be a contender. We're gonna start this one today. I'll come with a better summary once I get more into it, once I start it, obviously. I'm really excited about it. I haven't heard too many people that have read it, but the author of The Bright Years I follow, and she posts this on her story a few times, and a lot of people that gave her book 5 stars also gave this one 5 stars, and it's pretty highly rated on Goodreads, so this could possibly be a 5 star, which will be exciting. So I mean, that's the point of the video, so we're gonna hope this is a 5 star, but going into it pretty high expectations, and sometimes that doesn't help, because when you're going with high expectations, obviously you want to meet them. stop here and give an update. I can't tell if I'm halfway. I think I'm at least 40%. It doesn't look like it's halfway just yet, but this is not what I thought it was going to be like at all. I knew the main plot of it was we're following Sybil, and she's older, and you know, she's lived majority of her life, she's had her job, she's retired, she has kids, and she's divorced and all these things, and I knew that her main thing was writing letters to people, but I thought that was just going to be like not a subplot. It's definitely a main part of her life, but I thought it was gonna like be brought up throughout the writing. But this whole entire book so far is her letters and some emails too, but like primarily her letters. Like that is the entire book. There's no chapters, there's nothing but Sybil's letters to other people and the letters that she gets back from the people in her life. And I think that is just so interesting, and also is making it so incredibly fast paced because you're just getting a letter at a time, and then you just like flip the page to the next one, and you're seeing her life through her eyes at that moment, through her letters and her relationships to the people around her. And also there's a couple letters from her past that came up, but also she's meeting new people or she's talking to people in her life, and it kind of in that way describes things that she's not only going through but her life so far up until this point. Like we've learned about her and we know about her life now through these letters, and I think that is just such an interesting way to tell the story, and I'm really enjoying that. It feels so fresh and it feels really unique, and I don't know, it just feels so different. So that's like, it's refreshing and I really like it. But basically, like I said, Sybil, she is 73, I think, when the book starts. We're like 2 years into that now. So we're in like 2015. It starts in like 2012. Oh, so we're 3 years in. It's been going pretty fast. But she lives by herself in Maryland, and she's very much like isolated. Like she keeps to herself in her house. Like she'll venture out sometimes to see a couple of her friends, but she writes letters to like her neighbors and to authors and her children and friends in her life, and she's corresponding through emails to like customer service. We're seeing so much of her through these emails and these letters, and there was a quote that kind of explains how she feels about these letters and why they're so important to her. We also learned that she worked in law for like 30 years of her life, and we've learned about like colleagues in there and just like so much about her life so far through this, and it's making me want to sit down and start writing letters to people, because the way she's describing how it feels to her and how, you know, emails get lost and things on the internet and everything, like years from now you're gonna have like some pictures, but like written word is very much important, and the fact of a letter is also very important in comparison to like an email or a text or something. It's so insignificant in comparison to like a written letter. It's more obviously thoughtful. And she puts a lot of work into her letters too. And it's just really sweet seeing in like her perspective, being older in her life, and she's had this like long life. She's been divorced, and we got that perspective. Her relationship with her kids, she's gone through grief, like she's gone through so many things. And we all got that through letters. But this is the quote that I was talking about. And yet, if one has committed oneself to the page, the tragedy I've just laid out will not apply. Imagine, the letters one has sent out into the world, the letters received back in turn, are like the pieces of a magnificent puzzle, or a better metaphor, if dated, the links of a long chain. And even if those links are never put back together, which they will certainly never be, even if they remain for the rest of time dispersed across the earth like the fragile blown seeds of a dying dandelion, isn't there something wonderful in that? To think that a story of one's life is preserved in some way, that this very letter may one day mean something, even if it is a very small thing to someone. And it's like, yeah, you're right. I can imagine if I got like so many letters from my grandma or my mom or someone in my life, like constantly, that's their form of communication, like I would obviously keep that. And then down the road, like you can bring them out and it's just like a whole life's memory of just, even insignificant letters, but also some memorable ones, and talking about like, I don't know, it's kind of like a journal. Like you're writing to someone, but like it feels like you can open up a journal and see like that date and what they were thinking and what they were doing, and it feels so important. And I don't know why I haven't really thought about the importance of letters until now. Like I feel like that's just such an outdated thing. Like no one really sends letters anymore unless it's like a birthday card or something like that. And it's genuinely making me want to write a letter to people that I know. Like bring back penmanship and bring back writing letters. So far I'm really enjoying it. Again, I just really like the way the story's being told to us through the letters and through her emails. I feel like we're really getting to know her, especially seeing all the different relationships with all the people in her life. Like they're so different, and she's gone through a lot, and she is going through a lot, like current moment. Some like funny things going on too, like this whole like DNA test thing, which also she was adopted when she was younger. She had a brother that she grew up with, which she also like corresponds with in her letters, and he doesn't live near her or anything, but I think it's just a coincidence. The last book I read was it about an adopted child as well, and like she was also adopted. I don't know, little coincidence there. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I would love to just sit and binge this. Is what I've been doing all morning now, and I've been having a really good time because it's just such an interesting way to tell her story, and I feel like I'm like growing to understand her and the way she writes and all the people she's talking to in her life. I feel like I kind of know her like day to day and like what's going on and like things in her personal life that's happening to her. I can't tell if it's gonna be a 5-star. Like I feel like I need more emotional connection to it, but right now I'm just really enjoying my time reading it. So far so good. I'm hoping something else in the plot happens. I mean, something big did just happen literally the page before, which was heartbreaking, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. book is so fast-paced. Sybil's already 78 now. Like, we've gone through so many years and so much has happened at this point, but it's all through letters. Like, I still think that it's the coolest thing. Also, sorry if the dishwasher is so loud, but I also think it's so cool having your debut novel be so unique in this way and like coming out with a book that's not like, you know, the typical storytelling or like the typical structure of a book, but chosen to do it through letters. I just think that's such a cool thing to choose to do for your first book. Anyway, we're in 2017 now, and some stuff has definitely happened. I'm still like not sure where this book is gonna go, but I do think when we get to the end of the book, the point will be a little bit more of like, we've gone through these years with this woman. She's written letters since she was like 9 years old, and now throughout her whole entire life until she's like really old, maybe can't write anymore, whatever it may be as you get older, we have her whole entire life through letters. And I think that's might be the point of all of this. So you can kind of like flip through all of her relationships and all of her thoughts and all of these things that have gone on through her life, whether it was mundane or big moments, and they're all just written in these letters, which I think is interesting. So honestly, I think I'm over halfway now. I don't really have much left. I've just been flying through this. I'm gonna see how many pages it is. I haven't even checked. It's 281 pages. I'm on 190, so we have about 90 pages left. I honestly think I could sit here and finish the rest of this book. I can't put it down, and I'm so interested to see like where we're gonna go from here, and I feel like it could be a heartbreaking end of the story, but there's only one way to find out. So I'm gonna sit here, and I honestly think I might go finish it. So I will let you know how it goes. Oh god. I don't even know what to say right now. It's been a couple hours later. I want to talk about this book and my thoughts on it. I don't know if we should end the video here or not. Like, I can't tell if it's a 5-star or not, so we're gonna start the next one just in case as I like ruminate on this book, because I read it so quickly and I wish I took my time with it, but I just couldn't put it down. Like, I genuinely binged. Of course, the train is here. I binged like 90%, 95% of the book today. I think I read like 6% yesterday. I just genuinely couldn't put it down. And it's just fully to the author of this book, Virginia Evans, for being a debut author, writing a novel like this just through letters. Like, there's no dialogue ever. All of Sybil's like things happening in her life, ruminating on her guilt and her grief and all of these relationships and connections. It felt so human and so real, and it's literally told through letters and through emails and all of these connections she's made through people she's never even met, or just people in her life. And there's people in relationships in her life that she needs to make amends with, and just like telling her story to different people and just like communicating with different people. It literally felt like I was reading a nonfiction novel of a woman's life and her letters through the book. And I love that so much. I love when books feel human. I love when you can talk about different things that people go through. It's very much easy for people to relate to in that way, especially this one, following a woman who's in the older years of her life and kind of just like thinking back and being at that age and kind of like reflecting on everything. I feel like it's very relatable. And just like seeing it as someone who's 25 years old, how important, you know, communication is, and all these different things, like little life lessons throughout the book. And I love that she wasn't like a picture perfect character. I love reading about just human characters that go through things that everyday people do go through. And that's exactly who Sybil is. And the way that she just like kept to herself, writing her letters in her own space, and then realizing throughout, like, she just wants connection at the end of the day. And these letters have just been her like safe space and the way of communicating with people. The importance of it, but also the importance of like connection and all these different things. It was just really, really wonderful. And I feel like Sybil as a character was just so unapologetically herself, which I also love. I said, like, she's not picture perfect, and she lives trying to do like the best as she can, as she knows how to, as like everybody every day does. And I really appreciated that, and I ended up really loving her. And I wish she was like a real person that I can be a correspondent with. I want to write her letters. I want to be her pen pal. I think that's just like a wonderful thing to come out of this book, like thinking about and like thinking that she could be a real human to write letters to. And it makes you literally want to go write letters to people in your life and other people you don't even know, and just like talk to people, you know? I want to write Virginia Evans a letter talking about my feelings on this book. Like, I feel like she would appreciate that. After writing this book, I'm sure she would love getting a letter. I loved this book. I feel like I could keep going on about it. If you've read this book, let me know if you enjoyed it or not. I haven't seen anyone read it, and I'm dying to talk about it. I've seen wonderful reviews as well, so I don't know what my thoughts on a rating would be. Right now, it's like very high. I'm at a 4.5 right now. It could go over to a 5. I just don't know. I think I need to sit on it for a couple more days and let you guys know, but this could be a 5-star. And it's crazy because I feel like my reading taste is truly changing. If you watched my first video of the year doing this, I was reading a bunch of different things. I did read a contemporary fiction. I think that's what I ended up giving a 5-star, but I read fantasy. I think I read a mystery novel. I read a romance or something like that. I read historical fiction. But at the end of the day, I ended up giving a 5-star to just like a fiction novel. And I think that kind of like was the starting point of my reading journey this year. And like this debut novel, contemporary fiction, following just like a human's life that feels so realistic, I think is my reading taste. Like I want to be in a person's perspective in all different ages and doing all different things, and I want to learn about how they think about things, and it makes you think, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I feel like I know what I like in books now, and this is definitely a depiction of that. I just don't know the exact rating just yet. I feel like you should know when it's a 5-star, but sometimes you need to like sit on it. So I'm gonna sit on it. Our next book is like the highest contender right now, which is so surprising to me because it's a genre I do not read. I think I read one recently, and all the other ones I've read, there's like maybe 3 I just did not like, and it's a sci-fi novel. But it is one of the highest rated on my physical TBR, and probably that I've ever seen. Like everyone I know has read this and read this has given it 5 stars or like really close to a 5-star, even if they're not a sci-fi reader. Like they love this book. It's becoming a movie, and I feel like you probably know where I'm going with this. I decided to pick this one because one of my outlier 5 stars this year was a fantasy novel, high fantasy novel, not a genre I've been reading a lot this year, and it was also the highest rated on my physical TBR. So I was like, okay, this is another highest rated on my physical TBR, and it's another genre I have not really read this year, so I feel like it could be a good contender. I have high hopes for it, and everyone and their mother, literally, if I bring this book up, they say you have to listen to it on audiobook. Don't even read it, just listen to the audiobook. So I'm taking everyone's advice. I will be listening to the audiobook. I think I'm gonna read just a little bit because I like to do both when I'm doing an audiobook sometimes. I like to just like get the feel of the writing style as well if I can. And that's Project Hail Mary. I feel like I could probably guess as soon as I said sci-fi what book I was talking about, especially if it's in like a 5-star prediction video. Like this is gonna be the book I'm talking about. I'm going into this book expecting it to be a 5-star and nothing less, so I feel like that's putting a lot of pressure on this book to do its job. All I know is a guy gets stuck in space. That is actually the only part of the summary that I know. I don't even know if it's actually part of the summary. Maybe I should read it. A lone astronaut, an impossible mission, an ally he never imagined. I'm gonna start the audiobook probably tomorrow. I'm going to a concert today and I'm so excited, but this is a high contender for a 5-star, and I will come back with my final rating on this because I literally have no idea. I feel like we're reading really good books in this video and I kind of don't want it to end, even though it has to end when I find a 5-star, but we're gonna read this one just for the sake of it, and I'm very excited about it. I've been wanting to read this for such a long time, and it's time right now to do so. Let's see if we can end the year with a high note, a high 5-star, a really fun way to end out 2025 on our last reading vlog. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. I don't know why I can never just end a clip. I just like keep rambling. So I'm gonna start the book. I think tomorrow I'm gonna go on the treadmill and listen to it. That's my plan if anyone was wondering. I need to stop talking. I don't know how to end a clip. You would think after years of doing this I would know how, but I genuinely just keep talking and I have to cut myself off. So I'm cutting myself off now. Goodbye. You guys were completely right about the audiobook. I just got to chapter 4. I started it this morning, and just like right off the bat our main character is hilarious because he wakes up in this like quarantined room with 2 other people like around him but like unconscious. He's the only one conscious, doesn't remember who he is, has no idea where he is, has no memory of it, and he's just like so funny trying to like bring back his memories and figure out where he is. Like he'll look at something scientific and he'll have like a scientific thought, like he'll know the term of it and he's like, okay, I'm a scientist, something like that. And I think it was like the robot that was in the room, because no one else is in there, it's just like them and the robots, and was like, okay, what's your name? He looks down at himself, he's like, okay, I'm white, I'm a male, let's give it a guess, John? And they're like, wrong. Then he was like doing something, I think he fell or something like that, and he was like, holy fudge. He's like, fudge? Like, do I have kids? Like, it was just really funny. His personality's funny, and the audiobook is definitely helping that because the narrator is making it even more funny. And we've learned that there is something earth-threatening, this whole thing, and he's a science teacher, so they pluck him out. They're using him as guinea pig to kind of figure out what's going on, and the woman that brought him there has this like accent, and it's so perfect in the audiobook, and she's reminding me of the short woman from Incredibles. I don't know why. It's how I'm picturing her, and the way that she's like talking to him, and he's like joking around with her, and he just said, he was doing some experiment on something, and he was like, you know, we could use something else for this, but I just want some stabby time, like stabbing the things and like trying to break it or whatever. I don't know. He's really funny, and I'm sure plenty of you have read this, and that's probably the reason why you said listen to the audiobook, which I understand now why you said that, because I was reading it first before I listened to the audiobook, and I can tell that there's like humor in his voice and like what he was saying, he's kind of funny, and then the audiobook definitely helped that. So I'm enjoying the audiobook. I think I'm like 60 pages in. We don't really know too much. We just know about what's happening on planet Earth in like the past timeline, like his memories that are coming back, and like figuring out what's kind of going on, and like all of like the leaders from like every country. It's like a huge major thing. And then the present day, he like is kind of getting memories back, but he's stuck in this place and he just doesn't know where he is, and he's trying to figure it out using his like science brain, and all these science terms are just going right over my head, but he makes it funny, and I think that's what helps. Because if this was just like a scientific book trying to save Earth, I'd probably be like, I don't really care, like I'm not scientific, like it's just, I never was my favorite subject. It doesn't work and compute in my brain. But the way that there's humor in it is like perfect, and I'm trying to like picture how they're gonna put this like into the movie, because I feel like his inner thoughts are funnier than like trying to like portray it through like dialogue. So I'm interested to see how they're gonna do that in the movie, but I'm not watching the trailer yet. Trailers ruin all the good surprises and all the good scenes. I'm gonna wait till I finish the book to watch the trailer, just in case it spoils something for me. So I'm gonna listen to it all day long, see how far I get. So far so good. I mean, the science stuff is just all jumble in my head, but I'm really liking the audiobook, so now I know why literally everyone said you have to listen to it. But I'm eating breakfast right now while I listen, and then I did say I was gonna go to the treadmill today, so I feel like I should probably do that in a little bit. And I'm very interested to see like when the timelines kind of like match up and he figures out like what's going on and how he's gonna fix it. And it's the fact that he's doing it on his own, which is a little terrifying, and the fact that he's just like a science professor, teacher, whatever, is even funnier, because he's like, there's people that could be doing this, and she's like, that's the point, we can't lose all these big scientists. And he's like, dude, so I'm a guinea pig. And she's like, no, you're not a guinea pig. And she's like, fine, you're a guinea pig. I don't know, it's funny, so I'm gonna keep listening. Update, because I feel like something major is about to happen, but hold on, let me see what page I'm on. I'm on page 166. I'm about this much through, maybe like 30%, I don't know. Audiobook, still great. I was listening on my walk, it was freezing outside, but so much happened. He got so much more of his memory back, and we're also getting the point of view, obviously, of like the past, like the memories of what he's getting back, like what the lead up to this mission that he's on is, and he's kind of understanding what his mission is now. We understand it. I still think the scientific stuff is like going right over my head, but the humor that's included in it makes it more fun to read about and kind of learn about. It's understandable what they're trying to do. I think just his scientific brain doesn't really compute up here, but I understand what he's trying to do. I did watch the first half of the trailer because I felt like the second half might be a little bit of a spoiler, but I wanted to see kind of how it's portrayed. I want to be able to picture it better, and honestly, we got some of his humor, and Ryan Gosling is a great actor for it. Like, it was really funny. Like, he has the humor down just in the trailer. You can see that. And then Sign of the Times starts playing, and I'm just like levitating. I'm like, this is the perfect song to be using right now, and it was really good. So the first half I watched, I really wanted to see who they casted as Strat, who is the woman that in my mind, like, I kept picturing as the woman from Incredibles, but the woman they casted is not at all how I pictured it. Obviously, she does not look anything like the woman from the Incredibles, but I think it's just like the accent and the way that she like talks to him and like his humor against it. I don't know, it was really funny. But anyway, I'm enjoying it. I'm really interested to see what's about to happen, because I don't want to say it because I didn't read the summary on this. So I think if you're gonna read this, if you have not yet, don't read the summary. Just kind of go into it blind, just knowing a guy stuck in space. He has a mission and he has to figure out how the hell to save Earth. So I'm not gonna say what's about to happen, but just know I think something major is about to happen, and I'm very excited about it. I tried to read some of it too, but I think the humor that's trying to come through the writing style, I understand it when I'm reading it, but I think the voice actor of the audiobook just makes it that much better with the accents and just like the way he's like acting it out. It's really good. It's way better than how I'm reading it, even though the writing style, it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's fast paced by any means, but I'm invested. I'm really interested to see what's about to happen. So I'm honestly gonna lay in bed right now. I don't know why I'm freezing. I turned on my heated blanket over here. I think it's on. It's not on. I'm turning it on, and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna read for a little bit, see how far I can get in now, because I think we understand, or at least I understand, this. the scope of what's happening, and I'm excited to see what's gonna happen now. And also I just think this is like, I want to say perfect casting, but it's not even casting because it's a book, but the perfect like guy to be doing this and following along with it for someone that just doesn't really care about scientific things, or I'm not into like the whole space and whatever, these missions and whatever. I don't think I would have picked this book up if so many people weren't saying you have to listen to it. And I just think that the author created such a great character to be doing this mission. Like, it's just so entertaining. So I'm gonna keep reading. Like I said, something big I think is about to happen. So I'm gonna go back into it and I'm very excited. My boy Rocky. He's so funny. Okay, something happened. I think it's better to listen on audio, so I'm putting these back on. I don't know how I'm supposed to understand what that's supposed to sound like. The train loves to interrupt me every single time. It hasn't come in so long. And as soon as I start talking, it decides to join us. That is not at all what I thought the sound was like, but that's very interesting. We got to the big part I was talking about. It's not what I expected, but I'm interested now to see like how this is gonna change the trajectory of the book. Like something pretty big now that I think is gonna make it more interesting. Even though it's been interesting the whole time, like the whole mission thing is pretty crazy, but still, like this part that we just found out and this other thing, pretty cool. Okay, I need to update real quick because I'm on chapter 18 and it says I have about 60% of the way left. No, it says I've listened to 60%. I did try to read it, and honestly, sometimes reading it is like harder for a couple of reasons, and one of them, again, scientific reason, but on the back it says an ally he never imagined. Like that's part of the plot that I did read, like the first few sentences. Now I understand why people say to listen to the audiobook, because it just like makes so much more sense to listen to it. You can't really read what it's trying to do. I don't really know if that makes sense. If you haven't read it, it definitely doesn't. But what I'm trying to say is I'm happy I'm listening to the audiobook and I've gotten to the part where he's met the ally. And like that whole relationship thing is just like not at all what I expected, but I'm personally absolutely loving it. I didn't really expect this book to go that way. I forgot that I read that on the back of the book. I thought it was just gonna be like the mission, he's gonna have to figure it out, and like him being stuck in space is actually my worst fear, and how far out in space he is. Like it's just, I would croak on this mission. No one can get me on that spaceship. Not that I ever would be on a spaceship, but like hypothetically. It says I have about 3.5 hours left of listening time. I'm going like back and forth from reading and listening. Sometimes when it's like the past chapters of starting the mission, understanding the mission, and him like in like the past timeline, I'm reading it a bit, but I'm still really enjoying it. I can't tell if it's gonna be a 5-star. I don't know if it's because the hype in my head of everyone saying like this is their new favorite book, even if they're not a sci-fi reader, they love this book, 5-6 star. And I don't know if that's like hindering it a bit, because I'm like expecting it to be this amazing, incredible book, but I'm enjoying it. Like I'm definitely enjoying it right now. I just can't tell if it's gonna be a 5-star. And update on the correspondent, I saw someone say that the audiobook is incredible for that one as well, so I listened to like a couple chapters this morning, and every person that writes back letters has a different voice actor, so like the men and the emails and all these different people. So honestly, if you're gonna read that, maybe listen to it if you can, because I feel like that just makes the experience like that more enhanced, just kind of like this one. The audiobook just like kind of helps the story go along, and I kind of wish that I listened to some of the audiobook, but I still don't know my rating on it. I'm like thinking about it, so I'm like maybe that is a 5-star, but if I'm hesitant, I don't know why I'm making it so much harder than it needs to be. I have 3.5 hours of listening time left. I have a feeling I'm gonna finish it today, and I'm very excited about it. We'll see if it ends up being a 5-star. I'm not 100% sure, but I guess we're just gonna have to see how the ending goes, which I'm very nervous about because it's probably the highest stakes situation you could be in. I'm in a past chapter right now, so I'm gonna read a bit of this before we get back into where he's at right now in like real time. And I'm nervous, but I'm excited to finish this. I don't know how many pages this is. It's about almost 500. It's like 475, and I'm almost on page 300, if you're wondering. At a present chapter. Also, when I watched the trailer for this book, as I was watching it like on my phone, the comments are kind of underneath it, and one of them says stop at 2 minutes, huge spoiler. And as soon as I saw that, I was literally like at a minute 58, immediately stopped it, and I was like, I don't know what the spoiler is, I don't know if I've gotten to that part, so I didn't finish the trailer. And now I'm just like, I need to finish the trailer. Like, I need to know what they showed. And that just shows like you should not be watching trailers. They spoil everything. They literally show you the whole entire movie before you go in. Like, bring back 30-second trailers and make it like a mystery of like what the actual movie is going to be about, because why are we doing this? That's my mini rant for the day. Project Hail Mary. I'm sorry if you hear lawn mowing. Literally as soon as I set my camera up, they started. It's always something when I'm trying to film. It's a lawnmower, it's a train. Usually it's a train, and I bet you a train's about to come as well. Anyway, I finished this. But Project Hail Mary was not a 5-star. I did expect it to be like a 6-star read. Everyone was telling me it was for them. I will say I would give the audiobook 5 stars. The book personally for me is not a 5-star. I think I'd give it around a 4-star. I really enjoyed this story. I understand why everyone loves this book, and I feel like it's one of those sci-fi books that you can recommend to anyone, whether they're a reader or not. If they like sci-fi or not, I think they would find things in here that they would really enjoy, because as much as the scientific parts of this is like a really big part of the book, like the sci-fi is like really big part of the plot, there's still emotional parts, there's friendship, there's humor, there's all these different elements that go into it that's not just sci-fi, and it makes a really well-rounded story. And I think our main character was just so fun to follow along, because not only is he trying to make it back to Earth and on this huge mission and trying to get his memory back, but he's also very funny and very likable, and I think that really helped the story. For me though, I think it was in the middle. It dragged out just a little bit, and it got too scientific for me, and I think that's a crazy thing to say for a sci-fi book, because obviously it's sci-fi, like there's going to be science elements, but at some points it lost me, and I was just like I don't know, like I just can't keep up with the science that they're doing. The audiobook, like I said, 5 stars. I do think you should listen to the audiobook if you're going to read this book. There's so many parts of it that just really enhance the story. I did end up finishing the trailer. There is a huge spoiler in the trailer, so don't watch it if you haven't read this. And if you're not going to read this, then you could watch the trailer. But it was so good. I'm so excited for the movie. I think it would really help watching it visually, because all of the things that are talking about here, all the scientific things and spaceships and space and stars, I'm like, I already can't picture things in my head, so when you get into like a fantasy, sci-fi, anything like that, like it's just like a whole other thing. So seeing the trailer was really fun, and I'm really excited about it. I think Ryan Gosling's gonna kill the actor because of the humor in here, and you can already tell in the trailer like he caught on to that, and he's like doing it right. I did end up really enjoying it. I think the ending of this was absolutely perfect. Like I didn't know how it was gonna end, and then obviously the stakes are like literally through the roof, but the way it ended was so good. I loved the ending. I really loved the setup of it as well. I think it was just in the middle, it lost me a bit, so that's the only reason it's not a 5-star. I wasn't as connected as I feel like a lot of people are. I've seen people read this like in reading vlogs and talk about it all the time, and I think they have this like 5-star feeling pretty early on, or at least halfway through, and I just never felt that, which is sad. But this is crazy because the video can end here, because I did end up giving the correspondent 5 stars. I was going back and forth on this because I think just personally I'm such a picky rater when it comes to 5-star. Like I don't give 5 stars out very easily. As you know, I've given like 7 or 8 this year. That's what this video is about. But I think when you rate a book highly, like a 4.5, and then it sticks with you days after, and I've recommended this already to like 5 different people. I've talked about it with Chris, I've talked about it with Danny. Like I just like think it's such a wonderful story. I don't know, I would recommend it to really anyone. I think that's what's so beautiful about this book, is it just feels so human and so realistic. And I keep thinking about Sybil, and I'm like, I loved this book. I really did. So I am going to give it 5-star. We are finishing the video. This is the shortest I think video I've ever filmed. I think earlier this year I had 5 reads before my 5 stars. This was literally the second book in the video, which is absolutely crazy. I think, again, I'm really honing down what I like in books, what I'm looking for in books, and what could make a 5 star. That doesn't mean I'm not going to read all these like fluffy romances and fun mystery thrillers and maybe a fantasy here or there, but you never know what could be a 5 star. I just think if I'm being intentional about it, I have like little elements of things in books that I think I know could be a 5 star for me, if that makes sense. So we do have a 5 star. I would honestly recommend this to anyone. I do think maybe listen to the audiobook if you can, because when I was listening to the snippets of it, it really made them feel like real people, and I feel like that's what helps in an audiobook. Like, it just really enhances everything. But the fact that there's so many voice actors for everyone, I don't know, I think it's really fun. But I love the story. It's so bingeable, and I want to write Sybil a letter so bad. That is the end of today's video. I cannot believe, I thought this was gonna last me at least another week. I had a few other books on my radar that I think I could have given 5 stars, but that means we could just do another video of this and find my next 5 star, because there's a few on my physical TBR that I think are pretty good contenders. You guys know I love to film these videos early on in the year, so January we'll find our first 5 star of the year. Really excited about it. I cannot believe this is the last reading vlog of December. Like, what do you mean December's over and we're not doing any more reading vlogs? Like, this year flew by. Last 5 star of the year. Really happy about it. I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and every book in this video honestly was really good. What was the first one I read? Oh, Days You Were Mine. I would recommend all of the books in here. I love an emotional stories. I feel like all of these had those elements into them. Obviously this one was a little bit of the outlier. It's just a different genre than the other two, but really enjoyed all of the books in this video. Whether you like sci-fi or literary fiction or whatever it may be, I think you should try them out if they sound interesting to you. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I cannot believe, again, it's the last reading vlog of December. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had so much fun filming it and filming all the reading vlogs this year. It's so bittersweet when it comes to the end of the year. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for the next day in Bookmas, or the last day in Bookmas. Bye!